Our next guest is a registered marriage celebrant, Bronte Price. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom.
Well, Debrett, which advises the upper classes in England how to behave, has said that you no longer have to ask the bride's father for permission, and if you're a woman, it's okay to ask a man to marry you. Have you observed these changes happening in marriage or proposal land?
Yeah, I have, and I think other celebrants have too, and I think that Australians are kind of used to doing things their own way, so they're not going to follow necessarily what the English aristocrats might do. But it's been the case now for a long time that people, can propose whenever they want. It doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be on bent knee. It could be perhaps more of a two-way discussion. It could be over a TV show or over dinner or even in bed. So there are all sorts of ways of doing it, but there are still some traditional couples out there who want to do it as it's always been done, and they'll do the whole bent knee proposal thing, which is kind of nice. Yeah.
It's funny that the young women who work on behind the scenes on this program both sort of said to me that they still expect, even though they're very modern in every other way, they would expect the man to pop the question, that they would not do it.
Yes, but I think as your caller said, sometimes women. Men get a bit caught up with life and just never get around to something that's pretty important to many women if we're talking straight relationships. And so it's kind of like, okay, if he's not going to do it, I'll just do it myself and, grab the bull by the horn, so to speak.
Well, you mentioned straight relationships. Obviously, since 2016, we have gay marriages as well. Is there a different sort of, tradition, if that's the right word, developing in the gay community?
I think it's less formal. I think that, all those traditions and rituals are relevant to, they've been developed by straight couples over time. And so lots of those, such as the bent knee proposal, which still doesn't make too much sense to LGBTQ plus couples, it's still a strong thing. It's still a thing that's in everyone's heads that you've got to propose and you've got to kind of seek approval or the permission from the parent of one of the partners. So some couples will still adhere to that. Many are doing it much more informally, as I said, over dinner or after a TV show.
And finally, if we're in the business of getting rid of tradition, do brides still throw the bouquet over their shoulder, and does the woman who catches it, is she still the next one to get married?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's fewer brides are going with, or couples are going with all of those traditions. And so some traditions like the, having a wedding cake, for example, some are just saying, well, that's just a waste of money and waste of a lot of food, so we'll just have bite-sized desserts, or instead of rings, we'll exchange some jewellery, or we'll exchange a beautiful watch. So there's some relaxation of a lot of that formality, I think, in lots of cases.
All right, thank you for your time, Bronte Price there, registered marriage celebrant.